No matter how you might feel about it, even the legendary B-52 has its limits, and that's why the Air Force is now exploring plans to field a replacement for this massive bomber that's been carrying American payloads since 1955. But don't worry, Buff fans, because this effort is still in its absolute infancy, meaning the mighty B-52 will not be going anywhere for a long time to come. Now this year, the first of 76 aging B-52Hs will begin their massive upgrade and overhaul that includes much more efficient new Rolls-Royce turbofan engines, an all-new glass cockpit, and a new onboard radar that's more advanced than, well, the radars found in most Russian fighters, not to mention a whole lot more. And once completed, these upgraded new B-52Js are expected to stay in service through the 2050s, and all but certainly all the way to the bomber's century mark in 2055. But in the slow-burning world of advanced aerospace development, 2055 isn't actually all that far away. And if the US intends to keep that low-cost, all-purpose missile truck role filled beyond the 2050s, well, it's got to start hashing out the capabilities that it will need now. And that is exactly why the Air Force's 2027 budget request includes $1 million earmarked for what they call a, quote, heavy bomber analysis of alternatives, meaning they want to commission a sprawling study into what they call the key performance parameters and attributes needed of a heavy bomber in the 2050s and beyond, and how those parameters and attributes ultimately could translate into program requirements. Now, once they know exactly what they figure they'll need, they can then compare those needs to a still classified study of future B-52 upgrades conducted in 2025, and compare that to an analysis of designing and fielding an entirely new bomber design in the same general time frame. That way, the Air Force can ultimately look at a timetable of, say, the 2050s through the 2070s, the list of capabilities that they project their bombers will need, the projected lifespan of upgraded B-52Js, and the projected costs of fielding new bombers to determine the most cost-effective way to meet the Air Force's needs, those requirements, throughout that time span. And that could mean fielding a new bomber, it could mean extending the B-52 yet again, and it could mean doing both, as B-52s are phased out in favor of whatever is meant to follow after. And while I can't tell you what this bomber of the 2050s and beyond might look like, I can tell you some of the main factors that are certainly being considered right now, namely range, low observability, payload, and speed, all viewed through the lens of cost-benefit analysis. Now, range, of course, is essential for a heavy payload bomber in American service, all of which boast globe-spanning reach, but low observability may not be. While we often think of stealth as essential for modern warfare, the B-52's primary role in our nation's mixed bomber fleet is deploying standoff munitions, usually cruise missiles and the like, that offer enough range to limit the bomber's exposure to enemy air defenses where stealth would be most needed. If Uncle Sam wants a new bomber that's as inexpensive to operate as the B-52, stealth may genuinely be off the table, as things like fragile radar-absorbent coatings can dramatically increase maintenance requirements, and even without that RAM considered, assembly of low-observable aircraft requires incredibly tight production tolerances that also really ramp up the costs of production, all of which may not ultimately be deemed necessary for a missile truck like a B-52 replacement. Now, payload is also important, and not just regarding the bomber's internal payload bay, like the B-21. You see, one of the B-52's biggest claims to fame is its ability to carry and launch large weapons and other vehicles from its underwing pylons, making it an essential element of America's aerospace testing apparatus and a viable launch platform for all sorts of oversized weapons, like air-launched ballistic missiles and hypersonics. And if I had my way, Speed would be another element that gets some really heavy consideration here, as America's incredible B-1B Lancer supersonic heavy payload bombers are expected to retire by the end of the 2030s. The B-21 Raider may be very tough to detect or target, but it's still a subsonic aircraft, and the B-52 tops out at around 650 miles per hour, which is actually pretty nuts considering its size. Once the Lancer flies off into the sunset, the US will lose the ability to deliver heavy bomber payloads at speeds as high as Mach 1.2. And while not every mission requires speed, some certainly do. So what do you think? Does the B-52 see yet another overhaul and lifetime extension in the 2050s, eventually even earning its commission into Starfleet and extending American combat power into the rest of the solar system? Or can the US manage to actually design and field a low-cost missile truck bomber worthy of taking on the mighty Buff's mantle in just the next 25 years or so? Because if I'm being honest with you guys, with the way acquisitions have gone as of late, I'm not sure which one of those is more realistic. And before you head out, make sure to download the new Sandboxx News app, which is entirely free and is your one-stop shop for all of our excellent written analysis from special operations, intelligence, and conventional force veterans and subject matter experts, not to mention award-winning journalists. There is, again, no cost to using the app. We just wanted to create one place where you could find all of the work we do. And of course, don't forget to click subscribe under this video and tap on that bell icon so you never miss a drop from Sandboxx News.